where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. Today, we are reviewing the new Transformers Warrior Class Thrash. And it's weird to me that they released Thrash as a Warrior class and not as one of the deluxe classes, because he's about the same quality from what I can see. Everybody who I've seen pick up this figure has said it's pretty decent for a Warrior class release of a figure. And yeah, he's very screen accurate looking from what I can tell. So, like, yeah, it's strange to me that he wasn't one of the deluxe class releases, because he's definitely amongst similar quality, if not the same quality, of the mainline deluxe class releases of the Earthspark figures. So anyway, here he is in the packaging. He's in a very open style packaging, because the Warrior class is a kids oriented class of figure assortment. There is a Warrior class Optimus, a Warrior class Megatron, a few other Warrior class figures, and repaints, just like in the deluxe line, which is also why the Earthspark line is just strange. It's very, very strange the way it's being handled. There are figures that are better quality and meant to be geared towards both, I think, collectors and kids alike, which is normal for a Transformers toy line. But what's strange is how it's mixed, how it's assorted, where you have the deluxe assortment of figures, which are supposed to be somewhere in the middle, both still kiddie, because this is a kiddie-oriented line, but also more collectible. And you have Warrior class, which is meant to just be more kid-targeted. And you've got figures that are mixed in both, where some of those more collector-oriented targeted figures are in the kiddie line, and you've got kiddie figures in the collector-targeted line. It's, like I said, the Earthspark toy line is a mess. It is all over the place, much like the Cyberverse toy line was in some cases. And honestly, I hope Hasbro figures it out soon, because there are some really cool characters and some very cool original character designs for a lot of these characters in this series, despite how you might feel about it one way or the other. And yeah, some of them I really want actual figures for, and I hope that we do get figures for some of these characters, especially Soundwave. Soundwave is so cool. And right now he's just got a one-step changer figure that is, let's face it, not very great and very much kid-minded and targeted. So hopefully we get a true Soundwave and some updated figures of some of the other characters as well, because Earthspark's not bad. And one of the better parts about it, probably the best part about Earthspark, is the character designs for the Transformers themselves. So hopefully Hasbro gives it the attention it deserves at some point in the near future, if not later. But anyway, like I said, here he is in the packaging. On the back, you've got some images of the figure and his accessory. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here is Thrash out of the packaging. And he looks good. Pretty fairly decent, but on the back, he's a little hollow on the back. He's got some hollow bits. But again, this is a kids targeted line. Honestly, the quality is pretty good for what I paid for this figure. I think he was like, what, 15 bucks maybe? Now, granted, I was paying 15 bucks for a good quality deluxe class figure about 10 years ago. Oh, how the times have changed. How the times have changed. But yeah, he looks pretty decent. Very screen accurate. They've got the goggles and everything on his face sculpt. He's got his shield weapon from the show, which turns into his little sidecar for Mo to ride in, which is very cool. For comparison, here he is next to Twitch, his sister, who was born alongside him at the very beginning of the series. So you can see them side by side. And like I said, just based off of the similarity and quality and articulation and detail, it's weird that they were in two different assortments, two different sets of figures entirely. that they both weren't in the deluxe or they both weren't in the warrior class. Like I said, your Spark line is just all over the place. All over the place. So hopefully Hasbro just starts to get some kind of consistency somewhere with this line, because I definitely want to collect the characters from this show, but it's a little too all over the place for my taste. Thrash is very articulated. Head is on a swivel joint, fully articulated shoulders on a ball joint, articulated elbows on a ball joint, nothing at the wrists. As you can see, his sidecar can rotate, and this just pegs onto his arm there on the side. Waist, hips are on a ball joint, single jointed knees, and you can separate his feet from his wheels like he does in the show sometimes, so he can just roll around on his wheels, which was a fun feature. And that was one of the other cool things I like about the show, is some of the just partial transformation shenanigans these characters do that you as a kid, when you're playing with your Transformers, probably did once in a while. Like, oh, why can't I partially transform this guy and just have him roll around like this? Well, he does that in the show. And yeah, the imagination in which some of these characters interact is pretty well done, in my opinion, and I do like that charm to it. Transformation is pretty simple and honestly kind of cool. So what you're going to do is, first we're going to take off the sidecar. We'll go ahead and transform the sidecar. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold that wheel out, bring the scope section down, click that into place, bring the gun barrel back in. It doesn't really click into place, and then we just set it aside for now. Next up, for Thrash himself, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to this back section here. We're going to bring that down. Next, we're going to bring this section up a little bit, and then bring up that chest section and close that bit there. Next, we're going to bring in the arms, like so, and bring down this whole section on that hinge. So with the arms, what we're going to do is we're going to peg them on to these little side bits. So he's going to be holding the side of the seat like when you're riding with your man down the highway on his motorcycle. And then we're going to grab his waist. We're going to rotate it to the side so the front of his legs are facing this way, like so. And then we're going to bring up his hips, rotate them to the side, do the same thing over here, bring his hips up, rotate them to the side, and then bring his legs in, peg his feet to the back of his thighs, and then everything else should be lined up once you do that. I like how his feet come together to make his engine block section, although I do think it's odd that the kickstand doesn't really, well, it doesn't really function because of the weird place it's in. I mean, you can still articulate it, which is neat, but all the way down, it's just kind of sitting here at the engine block. It only sits just barely over the engine block. So yeah, it's cool that the kickstand is there, but it's not really functional. So all right, I guess we have it there for decoration, which is okay, but why have it? You know, why not just mold a kickstand piece to the actual foot instead of molding a separate piece that's actually functional, because it's not really functional, even though it is functional, if that makes sense. Anyway, last step is to put on the sidecar. So you got this little side peg and a little notch right there. That's going to plug in right there, like so. And that's going to give you the extra stability you need. Again, no point in having the kickstand there, because even if you don't have the sidecar on, which the sidecar is removable, I'm pretty sure it's removable in the show too while he's in bike mode, you're not going to be able to use the kickstand anyway because it's too short and it doesn't extend out. It just goes from side to side. So yeah, I just don't see the point of that being there. Regardless, his bike mode doesn't look bad. His robot mode is certainly more impressive, but his bike mode doesn't look bad. Not too terribly inaccurate from what we see on the show, especially from the front. On the front, it looks pretty good. From this side, it looks fairly decent. It still looks fairly decent from this side. I mean, you got the robot arm sticking out, which is really the biggest eyesore here. And then you can see his robot mode head just hanging out right here as well, which not the best cover up, but we've seen worse. We have seen worse in the past. And real quick for comparison, here is Thrash next to Twitch. So you can see Twitch and Thrash side by side in their alt modes. I still like Twitch the most. Even out of the other 3 Terrans, she is my favorite of the 5 Terrans. And I still really love her little drone alt mode, especially since it's just an Autobot drone that Wheeljack made. That's even cooler that she scanned that, and it's a cool design. I really dig the design of this. And Thrash has a really cool motorcycle design too. I'm not gonna lie, I do dig his motorcycle design. I like the sidecar too. The sidecar is a neat accessory, and I like the way it folds out into a machine gun for him and a shield, which is also very cool. Overall, not the greatest motorcycle Transformer figure out there right now, but as far as a Thrash figure, it's really the only one we got so far, and yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. Not super great, but not bad either. Hopefully, maybe we get one of a little bit higher quality at some point in the near future. Maybe another wave of deluxe figures will be coming at some point in the near future with a different Build-A-Figure, where we'll get some other original molds to this line, and maybe there'll be a deluxe Thrash in there. Who knows? Overall, like I said, for 15 bucks, I'm not complaining too much. I do actually dig this figure, and now I'm glad that we finally have Thrash to go with Twitch, because it's weird that Thrash wasn't available at the very beginning of the line along with Twitch, considering they were the 2 most unique original characters at the start of the series. So it's strange to me that it took so long for Thrash to actually come to market after Twitch did. But I'm glad they're both here. They both look really cool. Twitch is still my favorite of the pair, like I said, but who knows what other cool characters they'll introduce in the future in Transformers Earthspark. Stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Check out some of our other content. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you're looking for cool Transformers figures and merch, come by our stores inside Order 66 Multiverse in the Shops at Willowbin Mall in Plano, Texas. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.